Okay. Yesterday wasn't as good as Wednesday, but it was still a very good day. Okay, so let's get to my low, my high, my act of kindness. My low is the fact that I got a late start, or I went home later than I wanted to. There was something my mom wanted me to do with her, and it took a lot longer than it really should have to do it. But, we got it done. My high is, in yesterday's episode of Hot Ones was great. That's part of my high. But also, okay. Remember when I told you, I think I told you guys this yesterday, but like last night, my father and I were going to be essentially on our own for dinner because on a day when my mom watches my nephews, she doesn't want to like make dinner or anything. And as a surprise, my dad got Anilios for dinner. Although, here's the thing, he got Anilios for dinner, but lately whenever we do get Anilios for dinner, we never really get pizza anymore. Well, here's the thing, we will get pizza, like, today since it's a Friday during Lent, if we were to get Anilios today, yeah, it'd be like a cheese pizza, or possibly with peppers and onions on it. But lately, I get a Philly cheesesteak sub, and my folks get calzones. And my mom gives me something for calzone. So that was good. And my act of kindness was I emptied the dishwasher for my mom yesterday. Because, again, she was around. So let's talk about yesterday's episode of Hot Ones, because this is actually quite a, this one might actually be a little bigger than I think a lot of people are letting on. I mean, this was Jenna Ortega. I mean, she already established herself as, you know, a character in the Scream movies. But, in fact, that's why she was on Hot Ones yesterday, was to promote Scream 6, which is coming out soon. But thanks to Wednesday, this is an actress who just completely shot up like a rocket in terms of like stardom. And what I find really impressive and very relieving is she really acted like a regular person. Like, she was legit, like, she didn't let go to her head. She was pretty approachable, fun. Yeah, I gotta say, I mean, I knew he'd be in for a pretty decent episode of Hot Ones. And sure enough, she completely she was great, by the way. Like, she handled the heat very well. I mean, Sean Evans even warned her about the bomb. And, yeah, she stumbled a little bit, but she handled herself a lot better than most people. So, this was a great episode. Happy Friday, everyone. Let's start with what they talked about. I mean, literally the first question, because it was regarding the Scream movies, is what are the hallmarks of a good chase scene in a horror movie? And I love a question. I love when a question like that is asked, because when it comes to the movies that we all know and love, we tend to love them so much. Sometimes you never really think of all the crazy intricacies that go in to filming just one scene, let alone one shot. So, according to her, the hallmarks of a good chase scene are you need a good course. That's basically like what the main character is running through as they're being chased. The power of like a handheld camera to really get the franticness of everything, that really helps. A couple first-person shots, because when the audience sees what the character is seeing for the first time, that can be very powerful. Getting some injuries would be getting some injuries would be a good thing. Because, like, it makes the situation seem real. And when it's real, the audience can be more invested. But the best part, and the one thing that absolutely should be in every chase scene, is what I have called the awareness. Basically, if you're watching a horror movie, right? Let's say that you're watching a horror movie starring me right now. Like, this is a horror movie you're watching. Now, and I am the main character. Not trying to sound pretentious or anything, I'm just making an example. Like, I'm the main character, you see me, and yet somewhere in the background, you see whoever the killer or the thing that's chasing me is. I don't know that the chaser or the killer is behind me. See, the audience is aware of the fact that, you know, the killer's right there and they're about to kill me. I don't though. And at that point, am I going to get out of there alive? Is it going to be too late for me? We don't know. That's brilliant. And it all came from Jenna Ortega. Speaking of Jenna Ortega, another question Sean asked is, working with Tim Burton. Now, pretty much anyone will tell you that there have been plenty of Hot Ones guests that have worked with Tim Burton before. But this might be the first time I think it was ever actually addressed. Because it's Tim Burton. I mean, yeah, he's had a lot of great movies. Some not so great movies as well. But for the most part, you know, Jenna Ortega mentioned he's a great communicator and a great collaborator. And she also talked about two of her favorite Tim Burton movies. One of which being Beetlejuice, which I approve of, and the other being Mars Attacks. Yeah, I'm not really a fan of Mars Attacks. Sorry, but I was definitely a kid who was more prone to being scared, and seeing scary looking aliens like kill people left and right, yeah, that don't do it for me. The one thing I can say about Mars Attacks is at least it has a happy ending. We win. The fact that David Arquette is a certified Bob Ross instructor, and how Jenna regretted not taking part in one of his classes. I had no idea being a certified Bob Ross instructor was a thing. I should probably look into that. She talked about the importance of being Wednesday and how to express yourself, or in the case of Wednesday, not expressing yourself at all. She loves collecting books. She actually talked about the stereotypes of a teenager being on screen, which, to be honest, I could have told you this. The biggest pet peeve, literally everyone's pet peeve when it comes to teenagers on screen is they act so bratty and I don't want to say entitled because I know there's a better word for it, or self-absorbed, or stuff like that. I mean, at the end of the day, when an adult tells you to do something, like kids or teenagers, if you're watching this, if an adult tells you to do something, just do it. Don't give them any backsass. Don't talk back. Just do what you're asked, and you're more than likely to not get yelled at. I would think not getting yelled at should be a goal for everybody, Let's see. The creative, actually, they talked about how Thing in Wednesday, for those of you who don't know, Thing is a character in the Addams Family that's just a hand. He's just a hand. Hands able to move around, stuff like that. And how Thing was not CG made. He was actually portrayed by Victor Dorobanto. Basically, Victor Dorobanto's wearing a suit, but it's but his hand that's obviously playing Thing isn't being portrayed. And Jenna talked about how just Thing made her cry. Wednesday was supposed to be sad, but then Thing like comforts her, and then like she starts crying. I'm like, oh. It's actually the one time Wednesday is supposed to cry in that show. I haven't seen Wednesday yet. Sorry. Oh, actually, speaking of being on the Addams Family, when did she know? Sean asked, when did she know she likes to scare people? And she was never scared. But she loved getting revenge. Which is a prospect that I greatly approve of. Talked about the importance of like the 80s slasher prom night, which, I mean, come on. I mean, I'll be honest. I never really watched scary movies when I was a kid. But when I think of like 80s slasher prom scenes, even though this technically may not be considered a slasher, but Carrie, the original Carrie, that took place on like an 80s prom night. So there you go. How cool applying prosthetics can be. Like, seriously, when it comes to watching movies and movie scenes where you see like deformities in people or like really serious injuries, it really does take a lot for a lot of time and effort to get those prosthetics to work and stay there. Like, there was one photo that Jenna Ortega has of herself on Instagram that like it's like deformities all along the side of the face. It took 4 hours to do. Which, man, I'm so glad. Listen, I have aspirations to do things in life. Being a makeup artist is not one of them. So if you are a makeup artist yourself, I bow to thee. Okay, I'm being serious. Okay, this is one of my favorite questions. What's the secret to making a perfect guacamole? Now, I myself make guacamole a lot. Well, actually, I haven't made guacamole since like 2021. I should probably get on that. But I do know how to make guacamole. My guacamole has always been a hit at parties, so any opportunity I have to learn more about the process of making guacamole interests me very greatly. And, sorry, my chair. It probably sounded like I was farting there, but like I'm moving around this other chair. Sorry. Okay. So, according to Jenna Ortega, the secret to a perfect guacamole is you need a whole lot of lime. You need jalapenos. You need some good ripe avocados. And this next part, I agree with, but I know a lot of people are going to take some issue with. If a guacamole doesn't have cilantro in it, it's incredibly disappointing. Now, for those of you who don't know, cilantro is a very controversial ingredient. It's an herb that, you use for garnish and stuff, but you can also put in, soups and salads and stuff like that. The problem with cilantro, however, is on the genetic level, 1/10 of the world can't stand the taste of cilantro. Because to them, cilantro tastes like soap. Yes, like the soap that you wash yourself with in the shower. That kind of soap. Now, as someone who's made guacamole a lot and has used cilantro when making guacamole before, I can tell you no one in my family has this allergy. But I do know some people who do. Although, usually, I make guacamole for parties, but they're more for family parties. If I was actually invited to parties with like lots of people and I make guacamole, to use cilantro, I would do it, but I'd be rolling some dice. I'd be rolling the dice there. Seriously, when I tell you that cilantro is very controversial, it is very controversial. It's absolutely crazy, right? And, sorry, my screen went black. I need access to my nose. And then for the last dab, with millions of Scoville running through both Sean Evans and Jenna Ortega, Sean asked Jenna Ortega that one of the brilliant things about why Jenna Ortega is so great at playing Wednesday is she has been able to do a scene without being able to blink. And Tim Burton asked her that every scene, she should not blink at all. So, for the final win, we had ourselves a good old-fashioned stare down. And to no surprise, Jenna Ortega won. So, way to go, Jenna Ortega. That was a very good episode of Hot Ones that you were on. You handled yourself beautifully. Gotta give you your flowers. Congratulations on all your success regarding Wednesday, and I have no intention of watching Scream 6, but I hope it's very successful for you as well. And yeah, this is a really great episode, and definitely a great way to nearly kick off the weekend. Although tonight, that's when the fun starts, because I made no secret that, it's a Friday during Lent. Can't have any meat today. What I can have, though, is other things, such as cheese pizza, or possibly with peppers and onions. Macaroni and cheese. But my mom is making something very special. It's a mom food that It's a mom food that I did not like when I was a kid growing up. A mom food that took me 30 years to actually give a legitimate chance to. Not to mention, I do need to take a photo of this particular mom food because it's been a year since I've taken a photo and I need an update. So, I'll be sure to be posting that and talking about that tomorrow. I hope you liked this video. If you did, like and subscribe to the YouTube channel, follow me on social media. As always, I'm very humble in this video for all of you guys who watch Joe today. It will be a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful Friday. And remember, if you want to talk to me, we're here to lend you. I'll say you're back. Take care and make good choices. 607 all day, baby.